All right, hello, Gun Nation. Hope everyone is doing well. Got a frog in my throat, real quick. Hope y'all are doing good. Let's see, we got Panadrome Pictures, we got Pistol Pete, Dennis Buckner, and that was actually pretty funny. Pistol Pete, he does look like Fred Flintstone. So he does look like Fred Flintstone, the ATF director. And I do have some questions this evening and some comments, so we are going to get into it. We'll let some more people jump in. Let's see here. Yeah, and as far as the ATF director lied under oath, why isn't he being charged with anything? Psh, man, I think they are above the law. Hello, Floridian. How are you? Hello, Dirt Track. Clyde Cumberland. Didn't know if y'all heard, but the Fifth Circuit, and we don't know if it's for the gun manufacturers or if it's for the people yet. We don't know. But the Fifth Circuit, which handles Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas, in the Mock versus Garland, he just put a stay on it. Colin Noir did a video on it just a minute ago. So if y'all want to check that out, but I don't know who it's applying to, if it's for the manufacturers of the weapons or what. But if y'all are concerned with that. Hello, Red Menace, Lynn Holt. Pistol Pete is saying DWX Compact is hitting the shelves, no optic or rail, but those will be coming in the DWX Specialist version. Okay, cool. Hello, Richard Ship, A-Dubs. Hope y'all are doing well. I'm holding my pistol braces just because I can. Yeah, and yeah, I was sitting here and I was getting ready for the chat, and I was kind of putting everything together and everything. I don't know, it was about 30, 40 minutes ago, something like that, maybe a little bit longer. And I heard this boom. And I was like, what the hell? And I looked out this window. The window's right there. And a guy in a Ford truck, a newer Ford truck, backed up and hit a freaking light. The at the hotels how you have the lights, hit a damn pole with the rear of his bumper. And I looked out at the truck, and it's an F-150 limited. Limited. Okay. What blows me away, if y'all know anything about the packages on trucks, limited is not a cheap one. Limited is one of the higher priced ones. So guess what is on the dashboard of every one of the limited packages? When you put it in reverse, it pops on. It's a freaking backup camera. And the guy hits a goddamn pole. And he apparently bent his bumper. I was looking out the window, and him and his buddies got out and started looking at the bumper, and he was shaking his head and, probably cussing in Spanish, but whatever. I'm like, and I don't even use my backup camera. I just know how to back up. But I have a backup camera. I just don't really ever use it. But that's one way to have a bad day. Yep, Red Menace made it at the beginning for once. Hello, G23. How are you? Should have been driving an open. Hello, Tradbo. How are you doing, Uncle Dan? Yeah, well, people just don't pay. Man, I don't think people pay attention. And who knows? He could have been talking with his buddies in the damn truck or whatever. I don't know, but I just that's what I'm saying. I turn my sensors off. I don't even have my sensors turned on, and because I don't like that beeping shit. And then, I mean, not even when I back up a trailer do I use the camera. I mean, I use my side mirrors and my rear view mirror as God intended. You know, it's amazing that people can't back up and I've seen more like Lincolns, and I'm talking cars, with just smashed bumpers and all this other shit. I'm just like, God, you got sensors and a damn camera and you can't back up. What's up, Mike Kai? How are you? Ooh. Checkmate says I have a DWX compact coming on Friday. Cool, man. Good deal. That'll be neat. Also, my buddy Threat Cadre, go over and subscribe to him if you haven't. It's Threat Cadre, TheatCadre. But he has now like 1,230 subscribers, and he's gotten that in like 2 or 3 weeks. So he's been doing really well. But if y'all want to go over and subscribe to him, please do. He's giving out a lot of great information for free. Also, I did not know if y'all heard this, but Taurus, the GX4, had a recall on some serial numbers, not every one of them, for not being drop safe. So if you own a Taurus GX4, I'm just putting it out there as a public service announcement. If it's dropped, so it's got the SIG disease or the old SIG disease, but if it's dropped, it could go off. So, but it's verifying a serial number, and then if yours is affected, you send it in. So only for the GX4s. So just letting y'all know in case you've got one. I don't want anybody hurt. Brad says, "Hey, Big J, I just received a P10F with a threaded barrel for high school graduation. Did you know where I can get an OEM non-threaded barrel?" Primary Machine, I believe they still have them or still make them. But check out Primary Machine. They did offer them. Is there a reason you don't want the threaded barrel? Just curious. Because threaded barrel, is a little bit longer, gives you more velocity. But if you just don't like it, I think Primary Machine has them. They used to. I don't know if they still have them. Also, there's another company. Oh crap! What is the name of them? They do like gold barrels and all these. Damn, what is the name of those guys? You can Google it. I forget the name. They do like gold base plates. They do comps. They're big into CZs. So I know that they're out there. I know there's two companies that make them. Hello, Fina. How are you? Clyde, what do you suggest is a good LPVO for a 308? Just depends on how far you're going to be shooting it. Some people don't go past 400 yards. You could use a 1-to-6 LPVO. I really recommend, and they're expensive, but I really recommend the Razor HDs. I've said that numerous times, the Vortex. I really like them a lot. On my 308, I've got the Vortex AMG. It is a 4 by 50. There's good scopes out there. I've just had some of the cheaper ones, and the glass is not that great. But it just depends on what your budget is and what you're looking at. The Vortex Diamondback is a really great scope. I do have that myself as well. I've got it on a 22, but it's actually pretty clear. Doesn't knock your head off. It's like I think it's like $490 or something like that. They might have went up since I bought mine, but it's actually a really good scope for the price. It just depends on what distance you're wanting. There's a lot of variables there. Hello, Scott. How are you? What are your thoughts on the Holosun SCS? I believe that's the one that doesn't need a battery. It's got its own capacitor in it. I personally don't have any experience with it. I've never used one, but I have played with them at the store. They seem pretty bright, even in the fluorescent light. I haven't taken it outside, so I don't know that. It was pretty crisp, even with my astigmatisms. I just don't have any firsthand experience, so I don't want to say, oh, yes, get it. There's been a lot of reviews from pretty reliable sources. I think you would be okay with it, but it really comes down to what you want. I wouldn't be afraid to get it and run it and see what I thought about it. Have you used your grill yet? No, I have not. That grill, and if y'all don't know what we're talking about, I have a grill that an old man made. He used to make barbecue grills. I think he's since passed because he was old then, so I'm sure he's not with us anymore. But that was actually made out of a old John Deere all steel tractor rim. So even the bottom base is out of the center section where he bowed it out. Um, so that thing is heavy as hell. But yeah, and I did end up painting the whole entire thing. I wanted to keep the patina. I love the patina on that thing, but my wife was like, "Well, if you're going to get it out and start using it, I don't want you to, you know, make my backyard look all jicky because she has plants. I mean, her backyard is immaculate. She's the outdoor person, so that does all that. So anyway, I really like that grill, so I wanted to start using it again. So I did paint it. That part's already done, but I haven't seasoned it or anything. I painted it that day, let it completely cure and dry, and then put it on the stand, put it on the big patio in the back, and haven't fired it up. I'm going to do that this weekend, so I'll season it. I'll probably run some mesquite in it and let that cool down, and then I'll probably run some charcoal with wood chips in it, some cherry wood chips. Probably do that, and then I'll fire it up and actually cook in it probably this weekend. I've got some filet mignons that I'm going to be cooking over the weekend. I just don't like the way it looks as much as the flush one. And what optic plate would you recommend for the P10 and SRO or Steiner? Um, one thing you could do, which I would do, is I would actually put a comp on the end of that P10F. And with a threaded barrel, that's going to allow you to do that. You're going to have a longer barrel. So if you're going to carry it, you might not like that. I like it, but you might not. Um, or if you want, uh, well, I've got a lot of rounds through mine, but I'll say I'll trade you my P10F flush barrel for your P10F threaded barrel because they're just drop in. You don't have to do anything on it if you really want to do that. That way you don't have to buy anything. But to the rest of your question, I am really, really, really a big fan of the enclosed emitters. I love the SRO. You can't go wrong with it. But honestly, between the Steiner and the SRO, depending on what you're going to do with it, if it's going to be like your battle weapon or whatever, I would prefer the enclosed emitter because the SRO is a big catch-all. You've got the big ring. If you're going to carry it, it's going to catch a lot of lint and skin and stuff like that. But I'm a big, big fan of the closed emitters. And the Steiner's a great optic. The only thing is, it doesn't have the Acro P2 battery life, but you can always just change the battery in it, And so far, my Steiner has not needed a battery, and I've had it for quite a while. Yeah, I've seen a lot of those SIG 1-6s. I just haven't personally used one, and it might be a great optic. That's what I'm saying. Optics are very personable, depending on your eyesight, what you like. I mean, yeah, and he is right. The Vortex PST is actually um, a great scope. The only reason I really like, one of the main reasons, is I like the Razor HD. It is truly, truly, truly daylight bright. I mean, in the bright sun, you can. I mean, that thing is bright as shit. So, and when you look at it on one, I mean, it is huge. I mean, there's no scope shadow, there's no nothing. Even if you get your head kind of out of whack, I mean, you can shred with that thing. So, where some scopes that I have on one, you can't do that. What's up, DB? How are you? South Florida checking in. All right, I hope you are safe. Yeah, 1 to 6 is going to be fine for you. You're not going to need anything monster crazy. Happy wife, happy life. Yeah, I mean, I've been married 30 years. Love my wife to death, best friend. But, I look at it this way: we have give and take, and that grill is definitely not worth. I want to keep her backyard pretty, so that's not anything worth fighting over or getting upset over. And I buy what I want, she buys what she wants. We don't have any problem with that, so we're all good. Hello, Big Daddy G. How are you? Filet is a racket. I had the butcher, our local meat market. They actually had a sale on these, and I mean, he trimmed them all up for me, and I went and bought 15 of them. I mean, it was a smoking sale. Big party at Big Johnson's house this weekend. Hey, man, we could do that. Bald, I've told you, if you come down, man, I'll be glad to cook you a really nice steak. Yeah, I've got a 401 manufacturing plate. They are made out of aluminum. I have one that I tried just to test it. They sent it to me. And then I have a CZ Custom, which is steel. I would do prefer the steel, but either one of them are going to work great. Just don't over torque it. Use a fat wrench the correct way and put the correct torque on it. Gotcha. Okay. Well, and if you bought your own barrel, that way you could have two barrels. You could have your threaded barrel, and you could run a comp on that. The only thing is you have to take the comp off every time because it's not like a 19 or a 2011 where you pull the barrel out from the front, and then you could have your regular barrel for USPSA. So, hello, reloading from the hot pot. How are you? Hey, congratulations, Dennis. Tomorrow's his 20-year wedding anniversary. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Pranix in the house. That's a cool shirt. Yeah, this is all camo Texas. I really like this one a lot. I've got a couple of these. Got the light blue one and this one, and they make an olive drab one, but the olive drab one is not my favorite. Brian's trying to take people off my chat. I'm just joking. He's asking if anybody's going to listen to the DeSantis announce he's running on Twitter. I don't even have Twitter. I have it, but I don't use it. I set it up a long time ago, and I don't even mess with it. Yeah, but Menace, I do something special to the fillets. I actually butterfly them and kind of blacken them, and I do a really good season and a rub on it, and then I marinate them for like 24 to 48 hours. Um, I mean, they're good, dude. They'll melt in your mouth. So I like to cook. Brian is saying how to eat your steak: rare, medium rare. Anything cooked long is a waste of money. I do like medium to medium rare. Um, but the way that I crust these, because I sear them, um, so I do them kind of a special way. I sear them in a cast iron skillet. I'll bring this cast iron skillet out too, and I do it with olive oil, pepper, like the real pepper, not powdered pepper, peppercorn, and so I sear them and then cook them. Hey, what's up, Norwood? How are you, man? Yeah, that's actually from a movie. Who the hell said that? It was in an old movie. Somebody said that. But yeah, that's an old one. Let's see here, and that brings up talked about the Taurus recall. Oh, I went into a shop this morning and was meeting with a customer. I'd never met him before. went in and met with a customer, and they actually recognized me. They watched my YouTube channel, and they were like looking at me, and I gave them my card, and they were like, these two guys kept staring at me and staring at me, and I was like, thinking like, do I have something on my face or something on my tooth? And he's like, are you? And he's looked at my card and he goes, are you Big Johnson? And I was like, I've been called that before. And he's like, Big Johnson Guns and Gear? And I was like, yep, that's me. So I thought that was kind of cool. Looking for an appendix holster, any recommendations? Sure, good things about T-Rex arms and Tier 1 concealed. I've got both of those. It depends on what kind of gun you're talking about. I'm a big fan of Harry's holsters, of course, depending on the gun. And Tenacor, big fan of Tenacor. So, if it's a 2011 or something, I highly recommend Tenacor. But it just depends on the gun. I'm not real crazy. Well, put it this way, I have the MSP. I've talked about that before, the Tier 1. I'm not a fan of that holster from Tier 1. T-Rex arms, I haven't used one of those. I have one of their battle belt versions, and it's okay. Yes, Red Menace, I did. That switch scope, that thing is badass. I really was impressed with that. I saw Roger on QVO Tactical did a video on it, and I was like, that is cool. So yeah, that's actually very impressive. They're supposed to be coming out with the electronic version too, and that's going to be pretty cool. But man, that's a quick way to run that scope. So I see what you were talking about. It's really cool. G19 is the gun. Man, on that, I'm just being honest with you. I would go with the Harry's holster, unless you're going to run a light, because he doesn't make one with a light. If you're going to run a light on it, then I would still recommend the Tenacor, their Glock version with the light. And they make a TLR 7A and the X300 and the TLR 1. I would still recommend their holster. However, if you're not going to run a light, I would recommend the Harry's holsters. And you can use my discount code. Well, actually, it's a different special code that you have to use now. But if you're interested, you can email me and I'll shoot it to you. Yeah, it's kind of like Call of Duty. I'm not a big video game guy. I've only seen Call of Duty. Actually, to be honest with you, I've never even played it. I don't play video games. Or I did when I was a kid. Let's see here. Okay, and I wanted to ask this. Okay, you got two animals, snakes or spiders. Which one is a no-go for you? Snakes or spiders? You can only pick one. Which one is a no-go? Like, which one are you just like, burn the house down, I'm out? Snakes or spiders? I just thought that was pretty funny. I was thinking about that. Spiders every time. Pistol Pete says he likes spiders and snakes. Snakes, spiders. So neither one scare me. I'm not scared of either one, but I'm just saying, like, if you were laying there, which one would you not want climbing on you? Let's put it that way. Rats. Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, neither bother me, but if I had a whole shitload of them on me, I don't like snakes, man. Snakes don't bother me at all. Some of those spiders, man, I don't like them. Not scared of them. I'll kill a spider, but I definitely don't want them climbing on me while I'm asleep or something. Sharks, yeah. I was gonna say we got In my backyard, we have cottonmouths, water moccasins. Now we've got bull snakes, those big bull snakes. They're not poisonous, but yeah, we've got a lot of poisonous snakes. We've got copperheads and water moccasins are big where I am, and they will take you out. So, yeah, snakes taste like chicken. Yeah, when I was a kid, I won't say where it was. Well, because my parents still live there, but my parents have like 100, over 100 trees in their yard. And I was young and I used to weed eat, around all the trees and everything. And we had these holes in the yard. And I'd be sitting there weed eating, bumping the ground to make your twine come back out. And I'd bump the ground. I guess it'd freak the snakes out, and they'd stick their heads. These copperheads they'd stick their heads out of these holes. Man, I just whack their damn heads off. Yeah, we don't have rattlesnakes where I am. Spiders. Miss Hotshot says spiders. The whole state of Ohio will hear her scream. Oh, that's yeah. Floridian hates liberals. Yeah. Bad to eat venomous bad in your blood. Yeah. Yeah. And in my parents' house, we have cords of wood back there because we would smoke all the time. So we've got mesquite. Um, God, what's back there? Mesquite, cherry, and I think there's oak. Yeah, there's hard oak out there. So we got three different cords of wood. And man, those snakes get up in those cords of wood, and you'll be reaching for a piece of wood, and he'll just stick his head out. It's like, whoa, you got to watch him out there. Yeah, and when I was younger, black widow bites. Yeah, I've never been bitten. Well, put it this way, I've been bitten by a non-venomous snake, but I didn't even go to the hospital or anything on that. The only thing I've been bit by, I've never been bit by a spider. The only thing I've been bit by is I stepped on a stinging scorpion when I was about 11 or 12, stepped right on it, and it got me right in the bottom of the foot. And man, my foot swelled up. It looked like I had a softball in my foot. But my parents' neighbor that lives across the street has a pool and reached in. There was some leaves in the little catcher, the leaf catcher, and reached her hand in there, and a copperhead, or yeah, a copperhead was in there and bit her in the hand. Careflight had to pick her up because the hospital was like from there. It's about a 25-minute drive, or about 25 minutes. So Careflight picked her up and took her, and man, her arm was jacked. I mean, it was black. It swelled up like it looked like her leg was on her arm. It was pretty nasty. And the copperhead snake really wasn't all that big, but they say the younger ones have more venom. I'm not a snake guru or anything. That's just what they told us. Yeah, I've been attacked by bees and wasps before. Oh, and I did want to say this on that grill that I showed. I kept that grill outside for about 5 or 6 years, and honestly, I didn't treat it or anything because I love patina. And then I put it in the storage shed because one guy asked me, he's like, if it's in the shed, then how in the world did it get that patina on it? It was wet outside. I didn't let it dry completely, and then I put it in the shed. So, and it had been patinaing over the years just being outside. Yeah, I've never been caught in a bear trap. That wouldn't be good. Yeah, yellow jackets are not fun. Oh, damn, that would not be good. I was in Arkansas fishing the White River years ago, and a snake fell out of a tree into the boat. Holy crap, that would not be fun, especially if it landed on your head. Cockroaches and bed bugs. Oh, they don't have more venom. They can't control the venom. I gotcha. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a snake guru. PN. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Need advice selling a Staccato P, TGE or rifle gear? Whew. You're gonna sell it. Well, put it this way: they're both Staccato dealers. Um, I would definitely go to both. Just take it to both. They're not that far away from each other. Take it to both and just have them bid on it. And if you have to sell it, just see which one gives you the most and go with which one gives you the most. I know that TGE is very fair on their trade-ins, uh, but again, they're both Staccato dealers. Um, I know I wouldn't sell it personally, but sometimes people have to do that. But yes, if you have to sell it to a store, I would try those two. But Pranic's right. If you want more money for it, Texas Gun Trader, and you can sell it outright, and you can just get the person's information, and you can log it all for your records and have them sign that as long as it's a person in Texas, and you can sign over, do a bill of sale. Highly recommend a bill of sale. So it's taking it out of your person and putting it into that person's person. Get their driver's license number. I always ask for the LTC number and sign it, date it, so it's out of your possession into that possession, and then keep that bill of sale. That would be my advice if you have to sell it. Red Menace, don't do that. Don't listen to him. And that's what I was going to say. PN, hell, you might be able to do it here. I don't want to be a part of it, because YouTube hates that. But yeah, and that I was going to say, is it something else you're looking for? Hello, Miss Hotshot. If I didn't say hi to you, I meant to. And also, y'all tune in to Chris. Chris's chat will be after this one at 8 o'clock. So I always try to help people out. Go over and check out his chat. I forget what he's got on the panel tonight, but he always has some guests. Oh, and that is another thing. I do have some people that are going to be doing the chat with me. I've got some guests that I'm trying to arrange schedules, but I would like to arrange it to where I'm at my home. I know I've got perfect internet and all of that stuff. So that way there won't be any interruptions. I've done it before. I used to travel all the time before when we did the Three Guys chat. So, but, trying to get some stuff set up. I've got some people, some manufacturers and stuff like that. So we'll get it all locked down for sure. Don't think I've forgotten about it, because I haven't. Oh, you know what you could do, PN? You could also contact Vulcan Machine Works. It's Vulcan Machine Works. They're in Plano, Texas. They might buy it from you because they do a lot of custom jobs. So they might buy it from you. You might call over and talk to Jeremy. He's the owner. I forgot about that. He's not really a gun. He's a gun customization. He doesn't sell guns, but he might want to buy it so he can customize it up. I'm actually in Oklahoma tonight, so I am in Oklahoma City. No, Lynn, it is not a requirement for a bill of sale. However, to cover your ass, I highly recommend bill of sales, because if that person bought it from you on a handshake, he gave you the money, it's all legit, but then he goes and does something stupid, that serial number is still in your name. So, because on the 4473, if you bought it new, that shows in your possession. That bill of sale can actually get you out of some stink. So I haven't had it personally happen to me, but I did have it happen to a friend of mine. So the guy that bought it from him put it in his car and was using it as his truck gun, and he would just leave it in the truck. Well, his truck was broken into. They stole the gun, did some hood rat shit with it, and guess who they were calling when they found the gun at the scene? They were calling the person who originally owned the gun. So the bill of sale takes you out of the loop. It's just for personally your protection. That's all it is. So it's not a requirement. I'm just recommending it. Hello, Abigail. How are you? No, in Texas you do not. You do not have to go through an FFL in Texas. Nope, you do not. I just do a little more than what's truly required just for my protection. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't recommend like pulling up like they were saying earlier and popping your trunk and being like, all of these items are for sale. I would not recommend doing that. You're gonna have the alphabet boys. Rich B is saying, seeing what's behind you brings back memories of all my travel years. They all look the same, don't they? Yeah, this is one of the nicer ones. It's like a suite. It's got two beds, and I just have one bed where I throw junk on it. And it's got like a couch and a big sitting area over here. I mean, it's a nice hotel. Yep, Abigail, CYA. That's what it's all about. Yeah, I know you don't have to rock chalk in Kansas either. Nope, don't. What's funny is I've got all these different flasks, and I mean they're really nice. I've gotten them for birthdays and all this other stuff. Engraved ones, stainless steel ones. I even have a sterling silver one. And I always forget to put freaking whiskey in them. So yeah, I'm drinking water, but water doesn't hurt me. And just to let y'all know, and I'm gonna say it loud and proud, um, my big ass is on a diet because I want to cut weight, and I've been talking to Uncle Dan about it. I mean, I know how to do it, so I've been eating right and trying to get everything squared away. I need to get back in my swimsuit shape. Clyde is saying, what is your go-to grain weight in 300 blackout and 308? 300 blackout for me is 110 or 124. I prefer supersonic in 300 blackout just because you don't have as much drop and you got some steam behind it. Or velocity, got some speed behind it. And 308, I really like 175 or 178 for accuracy, oomph, um, and my 308 also have some 110 grain. It's speed, but it's super, super expensive. So gold medal match, 175 grain, I believe, 308. And then 124 is probably more preferred on my 300 blackout. So I'd say 124 for 300 blackout and 175, 178 for 308. Yeah, Dennis, there's a lot of states that are like that. It's just whatever your state does. And see, I know that Uncle Dan and I have talked about this. 150 to me is definitely not as accurate. I get a lot of deviation or more deviation, I guess I could say, on out of my 300 blackouts, and not just one of them, multiple ones. With 150, it's just not as true, but that's just my opinion too. Pizza time. All right. All right, Tradbo, be good, man. Needed a nice race gun. I don't know about all that. I don't know about the swimsuit calendar. That was a whole different lifetime for me. Hey, what's up, Gun Snob? How are you? Yeah, Lynn Holt, I know what you're saying. I just need to cut some weight. So, I want to, get back. I've already got the mental down. I just need to get the physical down. Yeah, and I've been doing a lot of fasting too, one meal a day, stuff like that. I mean, since Monday, but I've lost 20 pounds pretty quick in the past. So, but I want to get down like I want to get down. I don't know if I can get down. Well, I can get down that to that weight, but I won't have the BMI of that. I'd love to get back down to my football weight way back when I was 6'3", 253, and I was like 8% body fat back in the day. I got some pictures, and it's like you're not even the same person. Hey, what's up, Arcs Guns? How are you, man? If y'all haven't checked out Arcs Gun, he's got a good channel too, and so does Gun Snob. Go over there and check those guys out. Got to spread the love. Um, is there a difference between 115 and 124 as far as accuracy? I would say no. You're going to have a little bit of different uh, point of aim, point of impact with a lot, with most of the guns. I will say this: I carry 124 HST non plus P, so I really do prefer to shoot training ammo of 124, 124 grain because that is what I carry. But I'll shoot anything. I just don't carry 147. I know a lot of people do, but I actually prefer 124. Yeah, but you've got some good. Those are good grain weights there, David. And you say that you're a hunter, not a target person, but actually those for a 308, 165, and 180 are actually good. They're very good. You're going to get good accuracy with those out of good barrels. So, hey, big or arcs, I'm in, man. Got my rifle set up and I'd love to show you. Yeah, I saw a video of it. It looks really nice. But yeah, and hell, we could go shoot rifles together, man. We're not that far away. We need to make that happen. We need to shoot together, man. I could let you have some fun with some of mine, shoot some of yours. No, I agree. I agree. BMI is, matter of fact, none of that shit's even squared away anymore. The old BMI was a joke. Um, and I do agree with you. Pant size, etc. I was going by the old standards back in the day. Oh shit. Brian broke his foot last night. Dropped my 30 cal can from the counter. Top height landed squarely on the top of my foot. Never had a broken foot before. Oh yeah, that sucks, man. No, feet, man. Messing up your feet sucks. That's horrible. Just bought a used OD Green P07 with grip tape, fiber optic front with blacked out rear, and trigger job, light double action, and I think short reset, probably Cajun Gunworks 45. Yeah, that is a good deal. Yeah, that's a good deal. Yep. They've actually increased the price. A lot of places have increased the price on the PO7s and the PO9s. So that's not a bad price, especially with the work that's been done on it. Hey, John, what size barrel would you do? 11 and a half, 12 and a half, 14 and a half, or 16? My preferred, if you're going short, is 12 and a half because you have plenty of dwell time. 11 and a half's good too, but I still like a 12 and a half. Um, And here's the thing, if you're going to go 14 and a half, you might as well do a 16 or you might as well do a 12 and a half. I mean, 14 and a half to me, I don't see a reason in it. I'm just being honest with you. Um, if you kind of break it down, look at what you've put down. You've put 11 and a half, 12 and a half, 14 and a half, and 16. So I would do 10 and a half. If you're picking your sizes, I would do 10 and a half, 12 and a half, and a 16. That way you've got difference between, you don't need a 10 and a half, 11 and a half, 12 and a half, 14 and a half, 16. That doesn't make any sense. And also I do prefer a 12 and a half because I have long gorilla arms, and the 10 and a half is a little snug for me. You should see me try to shoot a 7 and a half. It's a joke. I look like I'm doing this. It's just, just for me personally, it's not comfortable. I can't, really crank out there and get the C-clamp on it very well just because I'm so bunched up. So, but, it's going to arm length, all of that. But I think a 12 and a half, you're going to be good. I've got 10 and a halves, they're fine, but I would not go below a 10 and a half on a 5.56 223. Nope. Like I've talked about before, do what you need to do. That was another question that I had, and I didn't just make it up. It's actually on here. But since we're talking about rifles now, on a rifle, PDW, whatever, do you prefer a red dot magnifier or an LPVO? That is a question I get asked a lot. Do I prefer a red dot magnifier or a red dot, but because of my vision, I would need a magnifier too? So I'm saying red dot magnifier or LPVO. And I know you can do the LPVO with the side, red dot, because I've got that set up too. But if you were just, and I know you can set it up for different guns. You could have one with an LPVO, but I'm just saying your one setup to kind of do it all. What would you prefer? LPVO or red dot magnifier? Hello, Casey Dolph. How are you? And I know, Abigail, it depends on what you're using it for. I do understand that, but I'm just saying if you were just going to roll with one. All right, I'm seeing LPVO on my 18, red dots on my SBRs. LPVO, never bother with red dots before. At least I know how to monkey around with the scope. Yes, Pistol Pete Shadow 2s have been on sale for quite a while. So you can get some good deals on them. I've seen them for like $840. Daddy G, I personally don't, but a buddy of mine has the SPX or SXP, and he likes it. It runs well. LPVO with the scope switch. And it really, Lynn's bringing up a good point. LPVO, thinking about the extra weight of a dot and a magnifier setup, if you have quick releases on your red dot and your magnifier, you can simply pop your magnifier off to decrease weight and then put it right back on. You're usually good to go. As long as you mark your pick rail or you have the numbers on it, you know exactly where it was. You're pretty good to go there. I've got both, all kinds of setups. I've got some with just dots, but that's going to be like my 125 yard version. Then I've got magnifier and a dot. Got a couple of those set up for farther out. And then I've got LPVO setups. If I had to pick one, and of course you've got the mount, you've got the heavy scope. Sometimes on some of my rifles, the magnifier and the dot still weigh less than the scope and the mount. so that could be a wash or a benefit of one to the other. But it just really depends on what you're setting it up for. I really do like the LPVO, and like I said, you could have the side little red dot on there, like your pistol dot added to it if that's what you want. But kind of best all around, you really can't go wrong with a red dot and a magnifier. A good red dot and a good magnifier. You can do a lot with those. I think the recoil system in the Staccato CS will make its way to other guns soon. That shoots flat as yeah. Yeah, and I mean I've got some striker fire guns that have the double recoil system, which is similar to the CS, and they shoot a lot lighter than what they should because they're small. I don't know if you've ever shot like the Smith and Wesson M&P 45 Shield. It's a 45. It's a very small gun, and their dual recoil spring in there. It's pretty impressive. It actually shoots flatter than some bigger 1911 and 45 metal ones. So, yes, I think they did a really good job with that. Only time will tell, but like I said, I think everybody is going to be trying something different, with recoil and things like that. So we'll probably start seeing that in a lot of guns, is what I'm assuming. It probably won't be the exact, but it'll be similar. Then you're too poor. Yeah, I mean, I think that scope switch is kind of cool. There could be some things that could happen to it. I know they threw it off of buildings and all this other stuff, but over time, is it going to stretch? The cable going to stretch? I mean, there's a lot of what ifs. It's something new. We don't know. Monk around? I don't know what monk around is. Maybe it's short for monkey around. I don't know. Yeah, and that's kind of the way I feel. Abigail says, I personally would have multiple rifles with different setups, guns or tools. Each configuration has a specialty. I avoid trying to get a single rifle for everything because it isn't viable. And I agree with that. And I've had buddies ask, if I could only get one rifle, what should I get? How should I set it up? And I'm like, man, when you say, okay, you're only going to shoot to 200 yards, and all of a sudden something happens and you got to shoot to 400 yards. I mean, there's all kinds of scenarios and what ifs. I don't really go by the what ifs. I just try to say, okay, this is what I'm doing today with this rifle. This is the one I need. Um, you know, Canted pick rails. Um, Canted pick rails. Canted pick rails. Are you talking about the canted offset mounts for the dots? Canted pick rails. Yeah, and that's exactly what I said when I was talking to Harry about that. I said, man, I could see that thing shredding. With competition three gun things like that if they allow it. Um, but man, I could see somebody being able to fly with that thing. So, and I think that's where it will become super popular if it's allowed. I don't see why it wouldn't be, but you never know. Or they might throw you into open. Let's see if I forgot anything. Oh, and apparently I made somebody upset, or made a couple of people upset last week when I did the chat. And basically I said, I can't raise you. That was the name of that chat. And, I've said that to a few people. And what I get, and y'all don't really see behind the scenes, but I have, and trust me, I help. I mean, I'll answer the same question from the same person, 5 or 6 times. And I'm like, dude, you asked me this like a week ago, you know, or you asked, it comes to a point where it's like, I've answered this question, this exact same question you've asked me like 4 times in a row. Write it down, go back and read my exact, uh, comment to answer your question if you forget. Um, but yeah, I've got a couple, and I don't know if they're doing it just to troll me. I don't think they are because I mean, they seem to watch a lot of videos, or they have a short memory span. Maybe that's what it is. So I don't get real impatient, after like the 4th time, but the 5th time, I'm just like, man, go back and read your work. I mean, I don't mind helping people. Y'all all know that, but I can't raise your ass. Poker joke. Netflix. Ooh. Would I trust my life with a Keltec 9mm carbine? That would definitely not be my preferred rifle. I'm not saying you couldn't do some work with it, but that would not be my preferred rifle. Um, you know, I'm not saying it's a bad rifle. Don't get me wrong, but it's got a lot of plastic on it, plastic trigger things, and I know there's a lot of upgrades you can do to them, but that wouldn't be one that I would depend on for my like truck gun or something like that. Let me catch back up here. Okay, Pistol Pete, you've never asked me this, so I'm going to let it slide. Have you ever owned any CZ pistols? No, never owned any of them. No, never owned. Lan, I've never owned a staccato pistol. Anyone tried a 410 lever action? I have not. Honestly, I'm not a big 410 fan. I mean, I shot them when I was a young little whippersnapper, but I honestly don't see a reason to have a 410. I just don't. I mean, 16 gauge, something like that, but I don't see a reason to have a 410. Yeah, but you know what? I could hurt some feelings. I could really hurt some feelings. He's saying, ask Big J if he's ever owned a CZ is like asking a fish if it ever swimmed. Yep, but I'll tell y'all something, and I'm gonna hurt some feelings. Have I ever sold some CZ pistols? Yes, more than one. So that's probably gonna hurt some feelings. But if y'all remember, I think what did I have, like 15 or 16 of them? I mean, I had a ton of them. So yes, I did sell one, two, three. I sold 3 of them, not recently, but a while ago. If you really want to know, I'll even tell you which one I sold. I ain't scared. Tactical stickers. Pistol Pete, you know I hate stickers. Oh, I sold 4. There's Threat Cadre. Like I was telling y'all earlier, he's hit like 1,230 subscribers. So go over and subscribe to him. He's giving out some free great knowledge. Yes, Pistol Pete, I sold a P01 and I sold it to a subscriber. I sold a P01. I sold a SP01. I sold a CZ75B Omega. And what else did I sell? I know I sold my CZ Scorpion. And I thought I sold one more. Because the ones that I really, really love, I double up on. I don't just own one. Like the CZ P10C, I have 2 of those and a P10F, so I have 3 P10s. CZ Shadow 2, I own two. I did have three. That was the other one I sold. My other CZ Shadow 2, I used to have three CZ Shadow 2s. I sold one CZ Shadow 2. That was the other one. Oh, hell, I sold another one. I sold my CZ TSO. Everybody knows it with the big optic on it and all that other stuff, the tricked out one. I sold that CZ TSO. I do not own it anymore. So I've sold, hell, five CZs. I have two PO7s, two PO9s, kept those, not getting rid of those. Um, every one of the CZs that I really love, I doubled up on, and just like the staccato, I have two staccatos, I have two MPAs. Um, really, I have three staccatos because I have the STI, the 45. Um, anything I truly, truly love, I usually have two of them. All right. Hey, congratulations. Yeah, you got that Waterburger. You from Texas, King Dingling? Put that Waterburger picture on there. Out of those two, I would do the Scorpion. They're proven. They are proven. There's been some problems with the Strybogs before. I'm not saying they're bad. There's just been some problems, but you know, I would prefer the Scorpion, but just because it has a longer track record. What's up, X Ring? How are you, man? Oh, what's funny? I was talking about a subscriber that, well, is actually a customer that I met today. First time I ever met him, and he recognized me from YouTube. And I was talking to him, about, he was saying some channels that he watches and things like that. And I asked him, I said, "Do you watch X Ring?" And he said, "Yes, I actually watch X Ring too." And I said, "Oh, well, I know X Ring, we're friends and all that." And he's like, "Oh, man, that's really cool." So I brought you up today, Ray. That's kind of the way I look at it. If one goes down, I can move, especially on the PO7s and things like that, P10s. I can move slides over. I can pull parts off of them. So that's kind of why I like that. You don't have to wait for something to be fixed. Yeah, no, I don't think she would go for that. Since you truly love your wife, I assume there's an exception to having two. Yeah, I don't think she would like that. And I don't have two trucks, you know. Um, but I have a toy car that she drives, a race car, and then I have my truck. But fixing to have another vehicle too. Getting a company car, so the truck will be sitting in the driveway. But I'm going to be getting another car, a company car, at the end of the month, end of next month. I'm sorry, not this month. So I don't even know what it's going to be. They're going to surprise me. Hopefully, I can fit in it. If I were rich, I'd have two trucks. Yeah, I would love to have a TRX. I would love to have one. That'd be a fun one to have. Yeah, CMMGs make good PDWs and stuff like that. I've only shot one CMMG and I liked it. It wasn't mine. Okay, it is 8:02. I definitely don't want to step on Chris's chat. So if there's any quick questions, I can try to answer them. I appreciate everybody being on. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also, there's a bunch of other great channels that have been on here commenting. X Ring, Arcs Guns, Gun Snob. I hope I'm not missing anybody. Bald and Curious. Go through, please subscribe to all those people. Want to grow the family. Threat Cadre. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Hot Pot. Um, please sub up everybody. Oh, how to oil a lever gun? Uh, the well, you know, well, put it this way. I'm sure there's people do it different ways. I have ordered or oiled a little bit where the loading ramp is. I pushed it in, put a little bit of lube in there, not in it, so it gets in the chamber, but right at that little gate. I've pulled down the lever and oiled right up under there. When your bolt comes out, or your, God, whatever you call that, when it comes out, I've oiled right there on the side of the rails. I've ran bore snake just through the barrel to clean it out. That's really about it. Oh, where the trigger, on the bottom of the trigger, you can see a little bit of the trigger spring, so you can get a needle in there and drop a little bit of oil in there, just a tad, and then I just work it, really good. Um, that's about all I've done. I mean, there's not really anything, super, super quality. And I mean, whenever you get your book with it, it's going to say oil here, oil there. They usually point all that out for you, but that's what I do. Hey, thanks, Floridian. I appreciate it. 2024 Toyota Tacoma. Yeah, they're coming out with some, what is it, the hybrid? I think they're going to have a hybrid 4-cylinder. I don't know how well that's going to be, but it could be well. It could be great. I don't know. But I'll be interested in seeing which vehicle they get me. It's going to be a surprise. Hopefully, it'll be something I enjoy. I mean, it's going to be free, and it'll be nice. I mean, new. It's not going to be you or some old beater. But I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a great night. Any questions, comments, or anything like that, drop it after the chat, and I'll be glad to answer them, unless it's been asked by the same person 9,000 times. I'm just joking. But y'all have a great night. Be safe out there. Love one another. And remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone. Y'all take care.